Hi Capricorn, this is Lena with Cicalia Botanicals. This is your March 2020 General Tarot Horoscope reading. So I went ahead and laid out the cards ahead of time so that we could get the video going. So this month I grabbed 2 oracle cards to represent your theme from 2 different decks. So the first one I pulled is Aging. That's a great one, right? This is actually a positive card. It's I am one with unlimited love, beyond all seeming restrictions of age. I am filled with joy, energy, and beauty, a vessel for the divine Shakti. So this card to me in this reading for you today, Capricorn, represents the wisdom that you have attained through your life experiences thus far, and how you have, like in this card, the butterfly, metamorphosized into who you are today. And knowing that, you know that you will continue to grow and change into a better and wiser person. Also at the bottom of this card, you see the lotus. The lotus mantra, Om Mani Padme Hum, came to my mind when pulling that card as well. The lotus symbolizes coming up from the muck and turning into something incredibly beautiful, symbolizing both water and earth elements merging. And your reading today, you have a lot of water elements, so I feel that that is a very pertinent message for you today too, or this month. Your moon mantra card falls right in line. It is, I see calm seas ahead, and I know that the moon has many secrets in store. So coming to this point in your life where you stand today, you have taken the steps to become a better person, wiser, more in tune with yourself, more self-aware, more than likely done a great deal of shadow work, and know where you stand right now, and have this inner feeling that even though you don't know exactly what is in store for the life ahead of you, you do feel strongly, intuitively, that all ahead is going to be good and beautiful, and that there are secrets ahead for you that are better and more exciting than you possibly could have dreamed up yet. I mean, if you take a solid look at your life right now, and if you're old enough, go back 10, 15 years and think about what you may have thought about realistically, where you'd be, the person you would be today. And you'd probably be surprised if you knew, right? But ultimately quite happy with the results thus far. You know, and I think that you have to take a look at yourself and your life from a very personal, centered perspective. There's so much outside of us trying to dictate us to be something, you know, be it society, friends, family, that does not always resonate with you, or puts a lot of pressure to be something. And we have a lot of pressure to be perfect, and especially I know you Capricorns put a lot of pressure on yourself. It's very hard to live up to your own standards. And if you really think about it though, the life that you live and who you've become and who you are becoming and the direction that you are moving is profoundly beautiful. So step forward with gratitude this month and trust the work that you have done and are doing. For your tarot reading, I have Where You Stand Now. I'm going to show the whole reading for you first. the Queen of Fire, or the Queen of Wands in this deck, crossed by the King of Fire, or the King of Wands. Behind you, the Seven of Fire, or the Seven of Wands. Ahead of you, the Eight of Fire, or the Eight of Wands. What is above you, or what is concentrated in your thoughts, the Magician. What is on your mind most significantly this month, the Magician. In your deeper subconsciousness, the Page, or the Messenger of Air, or Swords. Advice, the Four of Fire, or the Four of Wands. Your outside environment, the Messenger in this deck of Water, or the Page of Cups. Your hopes or fears, and this one I would say hopes, your dreams, the Two of Water, or the Two of Cups. And in the final outcome for this month, the Queen of Air, or the Queen of Swords. So I actually thought, I meditated on this reading more than I typically do this particular month. Mostly because of the Queen of Air crossed by, the Queen of Fire crossed by the King of Fire. Is interesting to me because I felt that this could have dual meanings. It could have the typical crossing aspect to it, is what's holding you back, or making you stuck, or what are you figuring out to push forward into the next moment of your journey, in particular this month of March. Or it could also be seen with the Queen of Fire and the King of Fire right next to each other. Obviously a well-matched couple. Now this doesn't necessarily have to mean love. This could be a well-matched job. Well, you finally found your home. You feel a place, a spirituality. It could be many things. I'd say typically, though, you know, these suit cards, these court cards represent people a lot of times, especially the king and the queen. And when you see these two of the same suit right next to each other, that's a very good sign that we're talking about a relationship. So I could see this is like a joined pair. Based on the whole reading, though, I see that as it's actually a benefit, or it's a very, very positive relationship. So I don't see this as a crossing of energies. I mean, when you get two fiery energies, the issue that may come up is the fiery passion can be really strong, burn up, fizzle, and die. So sometimes there is not a longevity in that energy. However, based on the other cards in your reading, I would also say this is not at all the case, as we end with the Queen of Air, which would be the Queen of Logic, of practicality, right? So there's not only is there passion in whatever this union is, but there is also a sense of wisdom, logic, and a day-to-day, long-term practicality. And when you add in your advice card being the Four of Fire, which is typically the marriage card, right? This is about establishing solid, long-term, structured foundations, long-lasting, stable environments, healthy energy. So this is healthy energy. And with your the Seven of Fire, the Seven of Wands, you have left this behind you recently. Recently can be within the last 6 months, sometimes even a year. We have the Seven of Fire, which is a very difficult, or Seven of Wands can be a very difficult energy. And I think, especially for Capricorns, it can be very chaotic energy. For Capricorns, it can manifest more towards the angry side of things. It's a lot of battles, a lot of defending yourself, of standing your ground, of having boundaries broken, just a ton of fighting energy, battling energy. It could be with other people, it could be with yourself, and it could be with your environment. It could be all of those things. It could be possibly within this relationship, and it's metamorphosized into something completely different, or it's the relationship that you have with yourself that's completely changed, or a past relationships signifying completely gone and something new and profoundly of a higher level currently existing. And I see, though, if you were to take a look at this King of Fire energy as a crossing energy instead of a couple, a union, I'd see this more of a person standing in the Queen of Fire element with a lot of self-confidence, someone that's really good at picking things up quickly, being successful quickly in most of their endeavors, having an innate, especially in creative endeavors or endeavors that they are passionate about. But so there being no issue there, like no issue of self-worth, of value, certainly no issue of confidence, right? But where the King of Fire issue where the crossing might be, is the inability or the sense of the inability to level up. The King of Fire is the self-made man. It's the, your own boss. You work for yourself. Or the authority figure. Maybe you're feeling like you haven't quite risen up to the authority level or the master level of something that you're working on that you would like to see yourself at. There's some frustration there, and usually this energy, if it's a crossing energy, if it's something that's holding you back, it's a lack of like a get up and do it, like that fiery, like, fire under your ass energy. You're not getting up and doing it. You aren't quite at that boss level that you feel you should be at, and so there's probably a sense of potentially disempowerment internally in regards to this. However, with the Eight of Fire in your near future position in terms of how this energy is progressing, I hear something like feelings of like self-worth too, I guess. So there's the sense of knowing that like you are worth all of this, but it's like seeing it in action that's giving you doubts of self-worth. It's just doubts. Innately, deep down, you know that everything that you are working towards strongly in your mind right now, but also in your emotions as well. There's both of that energy going on pretty significantly for you this month. Some strong manifestation energy this month. You have the Eight of Fire, or the Eight of Wands. So this need to level up happens very quickly. It's like a sudden spark of inspiration. It's like, oh my God, that's what I need to do. And that's how it's going to happen. And you figure it out, and I see it, this next level of being for whatever this issue is for you, that this is connecting to for you in your life, will happen fairly quickly on the top of your mind, because you have the Magician card. This is a strong manifestation card. This means you know that you have the energy, you have the power to change your life, to manifest that King of Fire energy that you so deeply desire and are working towards or need in order to get to the next level of your life, to live your dreams, to progress forward into these secrets that the moon is holding for your future. The Magician could be, I see it as, in terms of with your theme, the aging card, the wisdom, you have some innate powers of manipulation. You know how to manipulate people and energies to get what you want out of them. And I see this, though, in a different light, in that you've reached this phase that you are going to use it in a better way and to achieve higher ends, and without the dark side of manipulative abilities. Manipulative abilities, I could say, maybe transformed into persuasive, inspiring abilities. And there was something else I wanted to say about that. We'll come back to it when I remember. What is in your subconscious or feelings the messenger of air, or the page of air? So I think you have a lot of, so this is about ideas and communication, and being that it's in your subconscious or your area, that like deep inner feelings, needing to communicate feelings in terms of like ideas and beliefs about your life and goals. And right now, I see March, you actually spending more time of clarifying, communicating with yourself and your higher self, and figuring out what exactly that is for you and what that looks like. Not necessarily like shouting it out to the world. It's just on your mind a lot, that you have a lot of new ideas that are hitting you in a strong emotional place, because I think these ideas are speaking to your higher path, and living at a higher vibration than you have before, even now. In your advice position, we have the Four of Fire, or the Four of Wands, or the Marriage card. It doesn't necessarily mean marriage. It could be marriage. It's like a commitment card. You're committing to possibly a person, possibly to a home, to buying a house. This definitely can signify that. To a new career, or a current career even, making the commitment to dedicate yourself with this energy to progress. And it isn't a short-term fix in any way. Whatever area this is speaks to you, this is a long lifetime term thing. So your advice is to figure out what that is for you and commit to it fully, 100%, with all of your energy. That is what you are going to need to do in order to propel your life forward in the way that Spirit wants it to go, that you internally, innately, subconsciously, intuitively want it to go. Outside environment, we have Messenger of Water, or Page of Water. So this could signify either the world is asking you to speak more of your emotions, what's going on within you, or you may feel like it just is happening, that, or feelings even coming to the surface that you would typically repress or keep to yourself are now just coming out, and you can't help but have to deal with them. So this could be positive also. So, sometimes you think of that like difficult things happening, and like sometimes when I think of that card, I could think of just feeling overwhelmed by new emotions, but it and maybe them being difficult emotions and crying, but it doesn't have to be that way. Even the overwhelming emotions positive, like when my daughter was born, the profound and emotional brand new feelings that emerged from that. So this could also be in regards to children, feelings surrounding emotional issues in that regard. It can also be learning to experience emotions in a new way, in a positive way, in a sorry, we're going to come back to that, because the next one is your hopes and fears is Two of Water. So this is the akin to the Lover's card, right? So this is the soulmate card. So that's also why when I said the King of Fire, Queen of Fire, you've got the Marriage card and the Two of Water, which, the Marriage card, the soulmate card, and a perfect, passionate, creative pair. An interesting thing is that you've got a lot of fire, air, and water in your reading and no earth. However, being an earth sign, you were bringing that energy in and rounding it all out. So your energy this month is really quite nicely balanced. You end with the Queen of Air. So I think that even though you have all this passion and emotion, the decision that is finally made for you actually does come from a place of logic. You're not being thrown around by your emotions or your passions. And these decisions are communicated clearly, effectively, responsibly. I see this also as, if this is representing you, being respected, setting boundaries and having those boundaries be respected. The Queen of Air doesn't rule with fear. She rules with very clear communication and in respectful ways that ultimately sets her up to be treated with high amounts of respect. She utilizes wisdom from experience and makes fair and thoughtful decisions. So coming back to the messenger of water. So I don't see this as like an overflow of emotions that affects you negatively, because ultimately you come out of this with a lot of logic. I honestly see this, it could potentially be some like new shadow work that you're being confronted with, but it isn't dark or difficult. You actually get past it, and whatever it is that you have to do, you just go with the flow and deal with it. Don't try to push it away, because actually moving through this is what gets you to where you're going. Even though I know Capricorns, like myself, I'm an Aquarius, typically don't do the super overwhelming emotional thing quite well, and you can be a little stoic. So I think the only issue why this is like an outside thing, it's that you're being forced to handle some things and grow up a little bit. That it might be difficult for you, especially if you're very used to not allowing yourself to do that type of emotional work. So ultimately, this looks like a really profound month. Really, really, honestly, I see this as like, so we're going into Aries season. So we're back to the beginning of the zodiac. It's springtime is coming, and this is really strong energy, like the beginning of the new wheel for you, and you being in charge and having your own power fully within your hands and designing your life a lot more than you ever have before. So a quick few notes on astrological events for the month for everyone before we go. So real quick here, we have March 4th, Mercury still in retrograde. However, it's backtracked now all the way back into Aquarius. Also on that same day, we have Venus moving into Taurus. Some energies for those two events. I would say, so Aquarius being an air sign, you may be revisiting old ideas. And the positive thing to take from that is, if this idea is still speaking to you, calling to you, you really should take a new look at it and decide if you want to bring that with yourself into the future. With Venus moving into Taurus, so Venus being the planet of love, Taurus is a very like homebody energy. You'll find maybe the need to be more physically affectionate or affectionate in general, wanting to feel really comfy and cozy more so than usual, really strong, faithful, dependable type vibes in your life. Just be mindful of some potential jealousy energies, and that's all. I would also say that with this Mercury in retrograde in Aquarius, your mind may be like at full speed. There's tons of ideas, potential misunderstandings between friends, especially in forms of communication. So just watch what you say and be nice, play nice, and really try to be open to other people's viewpoints a little bit more than typical. And this time it might be best to say less when in disagreement anyways. March 9th, we also have two different things going on here. Mercury finally goes direct, so that's very exciting. And we have the super full moon in Virgo. So you might find that you have more clarity on your emotions. There might be a stronger sense of having a stronger faith and trust in life. I would be careful to not overthink too many things a couple days before and after the full moon as well. This is a great time to get organized in many areas of your life. You may be feeling a little bit more practical in your decision making. And another recommendation would be to push past fears. Let go of fears and really work with that energy to trust life. There might be some tension areas around the work-life balance or work-home balance. So just take that as an opportunity to reassess and tweak things and set things in a better balance for the future. On March 16th, we have Mercury moving into Pisces. So you may feel a little bit more drawn to social interactions. You might be feeling a little bit more emotional, or you're communicating in a more emotional way. However, maybe a little bit more foggy in terms of your emotions and the communications around them. Therefore, it might be a little bit vague, or people might be coming at you with some confusing, vague emotions. So the good thing, though, about this energy is you might feel more in tune with your intuition. So if you do, run with that. March 19th, the sun moves into Aries season. So like I said, we're back to the beginning of the zodiac. We have springtime energy approaching, fiery energy, bold energy, very confident energy, also possibly very argumentative energy. You will likely feel a lot more motivation about life, excited about new beginnings, working on breaking old habits, or old habits will be a lot easier to break this month. Just be mindful not to be too impulsive. Don't get too excited and start something without thinking it through thoroughly. So for you, Capricorn, I actually don't see that as being too much of an issue. You do have the Eight of Wands card in there, which is a very Aries energy for sure. So there's a little bit of that going on for you, but I see that as a positive. On March 21st, Saturn moves into Aquarius. So what I will say is, for those of you who are around 29 years old, this would be your Saturn return. And I would look up some videos about Saturn returns and look more deeply into Saturn in Aquarius and what that means for you. I know that my Saturn return was difficult, so be easy on yourself. It'll go on. It's about a full year of energy. But for the rest of us, Saturn is at home in Aquarius and Capricorn. So this is really great news for Capricorn and Aquarius especially. So you're going to have some really great, the energy of Saturn and Aquarius is really to your benefit. You're going to be feeling more open-minded. You're going to be feeling a lot more secure in yourself and in your life. You'll feel deeper connections opening up with people in your life that you care about. Your profound life changes on the levels that you need it. Maybe not where you want it, but where you need it. Hopefully also where you would like. Definitely strong growth potential. And the energy for manifesting, which is probably where that Magician card came into play for you this month. You have that energy will probably really start propelling. It was at the 21st, or at the end of the month, you'll start to feel it more strongly in yourself, that you really do have the power to create your life. I would take it one step at a time. Don't get overwhelmed with the Aries energy. You having all of these ideas and all these different things that you can do. Try your best to prioritize and take it one thing at a time, because I do see a lot of changes up ahead. March 24th, we have the new moon in Aries. Time to take action. New moon work is a great time to do manifestation, spell work, moon magic. There'll be some strong feelings, passionate vibes, and some bold moves being made. Finally, on March 30th, Mars moves into Aquarius. So to further those vibes already going on, lots of confidence, lots of change. Aquarius is really great, like Sagittarius too, with change, with new. With inspiration. You're going to be feeling inspired. You're probably going to be feeling motivated and really like time to revolutionize my life type of energy. You may even notice some beliefs of yours shifting. And overall, this month, in life in general, working with self-awareness is a positive thing. But I would take a look at the beginning of this month, where you are mentally and emotionally, and then again at the end of the month. And I think it's going to be, for a lot of you Capricorns, especially those that have put in the work, that are doing the introspection and taking the time to be self-aware, you'll see some significant good changes. Feeling even more like the you that you never knew you were, but always were. If that makes sense. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm always excited to do your reading, Capricorn, and I would love to hear how this month's energy manifests for you. I wish you nothing but the best. Thank you again.